harassed a bit by the Disruptor, but in they go in the mid lane. Maybe working on Dendi, can't quite finish him off. Bottom rune will spawn. It's a bounty. Top rune, a regen. That's the real bounty, and Dendi will claim it. But they're contesting.
And they make their way down, but they're too late.
Charge, toss forward. Dendi in trouble here. He's going to miss the first raise. That could end up costing him his life. Ava and the bash. Yao will get the kill. MMY may pay to Sneeko. Oh, just out of range. Barely able to slice him up with those blades. So it's a 1-for-1, but the death of the Shadow Fiend, a horrible price to pay here for Na'Vi.
Yeah, Funny comes in for some Shadow Strike punish, but yeah, he's pretty tanky, and he's actually just going to go for that 17% bash and cross his fingers and hope for the best here. Funny doesn't want to fight him.
It's really the difference between an Earthshaker and a Spirit Breaker. If that's an Earthshaker, you don't have that opportunity. He's too slow, too immobile.
Too squishy.
And also would be suffering way more against this Queen of Pain, so... we can see the slight adjustment in draft working out well so far. We'll see if the lack of team fight presence makes a difference later.
Yeah, looking at bottom lane, Gyrocopter farming well, although Axe is also getting some okay CS here. Hasn't been completely punished, although has decided he wants to rotate into the jungle.
They've more or less abandoned this bottom lane. Just a Disruptor sitting there now. Havos trying to complete his Tranquil Boots. He's got a little ways to farm for it. So overall, Na'Vi, they are getting the creep advantage here early on, and looking at the Dire jungle, I don't think we've got any stacks just yet. No stacks, and it's warded. If you don't get your farm early, it could really cost you as they toss Denny back into the tower, maybe wanting to farm heroes, but doesn't have mana for an Avalanche right now, and just going with auto-attacks onto Sneeko. They drop a Sentry Ward. Sneeko fencing around Dendi, looking for a raise. He's only going to hit maybe. Doesn't find Momoya.
Tango the Sentry.
They're thinking about it. Nobody wants it. They're just going to auto-attack it down.
Maybe it was next to, or it was more for the Tiny. He was missing HP. Tango's the Sentry, and it's the
in the Radiant jungle. Bit of a go here. Havost and Xiao 8 duking it out. There's the heal. But rotating in. A very early movement for maybe. Havost is fast, though. Poison Touch comes through. There's the toss forward. He might even be throwing Xiao 8 into his own demise. Are they diving this? They're thinking about it. 4 heroes rotating, but nothing accomplished. And Sneeko even going to arrive and look to punish Xiao 8 on the way out. Quite a few auto attacks. He gets off the double Windwalk, and he gets the kill solo. The charge comes now, but well worth the exchange. Just so much space created here by the little bounty hunter.
Yeah, gets him up to level 3.5 as well. This is a very successful roaming bounty hunter so far. Experience going his way. He's getting a lot of support towards Dendi, who's 24 last hits to the 7 of Tiny. This is a similar story to what we saw against Secret. This IO Tiny mid just struggling against Shadow Fiend.
And there's the added problem of the lack of jungle stacks right now. Last game, LGD had a quad stacker on this point. This game, they've got absolutely nothing. And even if they go for it, it's very likely that Sneeko's going to be there. They're going to need to invest 3-4 heroes to secure any sort of farm for maybe. It puts a lot of pressure here on Sylar, but in comes Dendi with Sneeko. A tri-lane mid all of a sudden erupts, and well to the benefit of Na'Vi. Now the chase in the river. There's the charge from Yao. Dust to follow this up. This was how EG tried to do it, the bounty. And now the toss. The Ava as well. Not enough to kill up Dendi, but Spirit Breaker standing his ground. 17%. There you go. Gets the kill and looks for more. The tether forward, the toss back. Kind of an awkward exchange. And Yao says, I'm going in anyway. Sylar's arrived, and what do you know? It's 5-man Dota from LGD. Another bash. It's another kill. The intergalactic space cow on the prowl.
LGD are like
making the plays.
They're out Naviing Na'Vi right now. They're just like diving at your tower and running right at you as 5.5 minutes in the game.
I mean, boy, would you have loved to have Funnick there or what? He's level 6. He had a TP. He only has 2 points at Scream, but still could have done a lot of work as they continue to pressure this mid lane. Dendi may even look for a final killing raise here on Navy, but it's only level 3. Not quite enough damage. But yeah, like you said, out Na'Vi, and that's where you want to see Funnick get active. He's on the move now, hasted and rushing in mid.
Oh yeah, Tiny's going to be very careful. He's low in HP, still nearby, and Yao reveals himself, but he's not an easy target with all his HP and survivability that he's packing.
That's probably the worst hero to go on. Either maybe or MMY a better choice, but they got to find somebody away from the tower. Funnick just begging them to come out. He could maybe even get a double with support. Sneeko again going invis. I love the way they're using this bounty hunter, though. They didn't have the early sentry mid, and then they immediately got dewarded. And since then, Na'Vi have had the true sight superiority in the mid lane, which means he's just free to move around and do as he pleases.
Yeah, and that's something we've seen most teams be really disciplined in dealing with the bounty hunter. They'll kind of have that sentry battle in mid lane where they're using their tangos to de-sentry, but LGD, I mean, they're still in a good position. They're up kills, they're getting farm on most of their cores, Gyrocopter especially top of the net worth chart, so by no means are they in a bad position, but they haven't really willingness to just play the bounty hunter battle in the mid lane.
A lot of the mid game feels like it is going to come down to Sylar. Phase boots up, early Arena Facility is complete, he's hit level 7. And he's got a TP scroll. This is where Na'Vi do need to be careful. You go for a tower dive, and you may well end up giving that double, triple kill that we've seen so many times away already in the tournament and just completely blowing the game open. As they make their move on mid, the Raze is attempted, can't quite get the kill on maybe. And LGD will back off for now.
So for LGD, it looks like they're just going to try and get Yao's level 6 in the top lane, but for him, I think he's quite happy. He's been able to achieve a lot for his team in the mid lane with his rotations. Well, meanwhile, Funix just been kind of sitting top. His rotation failed, didn't actually get any kills for his team. So while Funix farming well, he has
the Sharuka toss. Will he get it in time? Yes, he does. Big kill going to be going the other way here. Sylar doesn't even have mana for Ragovach. Now called and finished off. That is not worth it. Gives up his own life just for a disruptor. Underestimating Navi's own willingness, but I suppose in good news, does force 3 TPs. LGD now moving in. They have not been scouted out here just yet as they walk up the ramp. And, they find Sneeko. Immediately, the avalanche, the toss, dead. They strike back quickly.
Funix showing up, has Sonic Wave available.
He could go for these supports. They're rather low HP, but a well-timed Grave could hurt them a lot. There's a charge coming as well across the middle lane. It's pinged out immediately by Funix Queen of Pain, and they know, but... Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get a chill.
He loses the charge because it was on a creep, so the creep died.
Gotcha.
No more charge. Deep Dire Ward in this bottom lane, though, is really helping them out, give them a lot of important information if they want to take fights around the Radiant jungle or this Radiant bottom lane. They have complete intel as far as hero positions go in that area.
And they are starting to press up, but look at Dendi keeping up in farm. This is pretty much what we saw out of Arteezy as well in game 1 of the last series. Was Shadow Fiend just seems to do fine as long as he gets his help, even against a Tiny Wisp. Sneeko, you mentioned the deep ward gods. This could hurt. He's not yet level 6. He's being pinged out.
And there's
They're
Dust.
really committing for it. Yao doesn't have any mana here for another strike, though. He can't go that far. Does force out a TP, which gets immediately canceled. Not sure if LGD actually saw the TP. It was close to the daytime vision. They are starting to think about pressure, and they have a toss ready, which means this tower should fall. LGD going to be the first ones to spill that type of blood. As the Rockman does work with the buildings. Oh, the toss back. Whips the toss. Meanwhile on the river. Bit of an engagement breaking out. Sneeko getting charged. The Rocket Barrage continued to do its work, and now the Dust can come into play for Yao. Finally, he's going to bring down the Bounty Hunter. LGD really just completely copying what EG did against Bounty Hunter in the previous day's matches versus Vici Gaming. Seems like the Spirit Breaker is a great way to deal with him. He goes anywhere, you ever get vision, you charge him, and at best he's running away, at worst he's feeding a kill.
Yeah, and it just helps you know exactly where he is, and normally those are very safe charges, because Bounty Hunter is further away than most heroes would be from their towers. Bounty Hunter is the scouting hero. He's trying to get information on your side of the map, so a charge on a Bounty Hunter almost always can lead to a kill.
They try to prep for a go on Sylar, but with Xiao 8 in reserve, this does not seem like the right time. I'm going to sit back and farm it up. Still, when it comes to gold and experience, a very even game here as far as gold goes. As for the experience, Na'Vi have pulled ahead. Almost a 2K experience lead, a bit over 1.5 to be precise. Looking good through the laning stage. And it looks like it'll be that next round of big items coming out that'll really break the game open. The Blink Dagger coming out for the Axe. No stack still for Tiny Wisp as well as the Gyro. It is a bit of a worry to me that there's just nothing going for LGD as far as economy.
Yeah, he goes to sack it, sees it fails, and it will obviously know from that's either warded or the Bounty Hunter was there blocking it, so it does make his life a little bit difficult.
Charge. They're going on Sylar. Static Storm's there. Don't want to let him get off the cooldown. The Queen of Pain ultimate, not enough. Oh, he didn't even get it off in the end, though. The charge.
The neutrals.
Makes it a 2-for-1. Meanwhile, the Disruptor will get denied by the neutrals, but Dendi gets picked off while this is happening. And that is probably the biggest kill of them all there.
Yeah, that hurts Na'Vi. He's there kind of...
They're lucky that it was a neutral deny, or it would have been a 2-for-1 officially. But they still Disruptor back to the base for now.
Yao has had a huge impact on this game. 3-0-2 so far. He's only got 9 CS. But
Courier. In danger. Saniko, oh, he times it just right. There's the snipe. Immediate TP out and nothing to cancel it. Carrying a measly Iron Branch, but hey, they'll take the gold. That's all that matters.
You know, talking about the Dire vision earlier, but Radiant have great vision around the mid lane, the Dire jungle, blocking the neutral stack for the second time this game, and also towards this bottom around Roshan area, which has spotted out a couple of charges already. So,
you know what would be really interesting? If when you kill the courier, you get more gold depending on the items on it. Like, you're rewarded for killing... You've seen those, like, 9K courier kills, right? That would be...
What should scale into the late game, too. The later in the game it is, the more money you get for a
5,000 gold courier kill if it's a 180-minute game.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man.
You're going to introduce comeback mechanics into courier kills. If the other team's ahead, you know, the rubber band comes back. Everybody misses the rubber band, of course. You know,
I do. I want it nice and taut, you know, so it can always snap back the other way. We can be the yo-yo on the string.
It instantly evens up the net worth.
If you're ever going to kill, the net worth just goes even, no matter what.
Exactly.
Okay,
so
here we go. Ice Frog, I hope you're listening. We've got the balanced touch. And also Buffalo Shrek while you're at it.
Oh, yeah.
LGD moving in. They've got a deep ward on Havost, and they're going to look to go at him. Call down comes through as well. The bashes are strong. He does manage to get off the call, but it's not going to matter. Meanwhile, on the backside, maybe gets trapped out. They do lose their tiny off the bat. Great static storm by Artstyle, but Sylar hunts. Diving deep, the IO going to relocate out. Artstyle trying to survive this. Dendy's Requiem helps him out a little bit, but not enough. They can't finish the job, and they even managed to get the gyrocopter away with a glimpse from Artstyle. Both Na'Vi heroes surviving on fractions of HP. Huge plays from Na'Vi, and now Funnick, the blink in, he body blocks Sylar. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Down he goes as well. LGD get punished.
Outplayed so hard. That, like, Dendy's Yules arrived just as he needed to save himself from the gyrocopter. LGD just kind of overextending a little bit, and Na'Vi is saying, no. This is what we do. We're going to punish you for doing what we do. They know that just too well, and